This is a early 2011 15-inch Unibody MacBook Pro. Now I actually only paid $30 for this machine, believe it or not, and it was in non-working condition. Now cosmetically the condition, at least on the top, is pretty decent, but on the sides of the Unibody enclosure and bottom, it's not that great. However, it's tolerable, as I'll show you in a second. But for $30, I really couldn't go wrong with this machine, especially considering it has a quad-core i7 or quad-core Intel Core i7 CPU. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with an overview of the system. So on the front here, we don't really have anything except for the finger area for the magnetic latch, the sleep LED, and the infrared sensor. Now as you can see on the two corners, it is in pretty bad shape, I guess. I mean, it's not terrible, but as you can see, it is quite dented, more so on this side than the other side, actually. As you can see, this side is so bad it even has a hole in the aluminum enclosure, so it's kind of unfortunate, but for $30, I really don't care at all, especially since the machine now works, and I'll explain what I did to fix it in a second. So on this side, all we have is a Kensington lock and the slot for the optical drive. On the back of the machine, we don't have anything except the hinge and antenna cover. And also, as you can see, some of the rubber feet are missing on the bottom pan of the machine. On this side, we have the MagSafe power connection, a gigabit Ethernet port, a FireWire 800 port, a Thunderbolt port, two USB 2.0 ports, an SD card slot, a microphone input and audio output, as well as a battery status indicator right here. As you can see, this battery is currently fully charged. And yeah, as you can see, it's quite a bit dented around this area as well. I mean, right here, and you can see that the bottom pan is actually a little bit overlapping the area where it's pushed in. So yeah, it's not perfect. Let me show you the bottom real quick. So yeah, as you can see on the bottom, it has quite a few marks and dings and stuff. All but one rubber feet are missing, as you can see. But like I said before, it's $30. I really don't care. So let me go ahead and flip the machine over and go ahead and open it up. Alright, so here's the inside of the machine. Once again, you can see a bit of dents around here. This is actually not dirt, it is a dent as well as that. Bit of dents here, of course, and a little bit more around here. But really, that's no big deal, like I keep saying. Anyway, we have inside the machine here, we have the large glass multi-touch trackpad, which is very, very nice to use. Right here we have a speaker grill with very, very small holes. Right here we have the chiclet style keyboard with backlit keys. Next to that we have the other speaker. Above that we have the power button. And yeah, that's basically the inside of the machine. And as you can see, the LCD glass and the LCD panel itself are in very nice condition. I did clean the machine, of course. So yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and boot it up. So, yeah. So it is currently running macOS 10.8.5 Mountain Lion. That is my preferred version of OS 10. While Mavericks isn't that bad, when I used it at one point I found some glitches in it that I really didn't like. So I just went back to Mountain Lion, and as for Yosemite, I really don't like that at all. I don't like the way it looks, and a lot of people have problems with it, so I'll be sticking to Mountain Lion for quite a bit longer, I think. As you can see on the LCD, there is a bit of pressure marks. This is probably stored, I don't know where it was really stored, but obviously some weight had been put on the back of the LCD. However, when you look at it normally, you really can't see those marks. So as you can see here, the keys have backlit since the machine has booted. So let me go ahead and type in my password real quick and go ahead and log in. So as you can see, the machine runs very fast, at least on the boot process, and the machine runs well overall, of course. So let's go ahead into About This Mac. As you can see here, it has a 2 GHz Intel Core i7 CPU, 6 gigs of DDR3 memory. I did upgrade that. It originally had 4 when I got it. And it does have a 500 gigabyte 5400 RPM hard drive. So it's not the fastest thing in the world, and soon I'm hoping to upgrade this machine to an SSD, but for now it works just fine, because I don't currently own an SSD, so I really have nothing to compare the speed to. So yeah, let's go ahead and do more info here. You can see that it is a 15-inch early 2011 MacBook Pro. Now this does have dual GPUs. I'll go ahead and open System Report here and show you that. If we go into Graphics and Displays, you can see that it has both an AMD Radeon HD 6490M PCIe bus GPU, and the secondary graphics are of course integrated to the CPU, because the Sandy Bridge platform is of course an APU setup. It is Intel HD Graphics 3000, since that's what comes with Sandy Bridge. It has 384 megs of shared system memory, and the Radeon HD 6490M has 256 megs of dedicated video memory. And one thing I found strange here, and I don't know if this really impacts the performance at all, but the PCIe lane width is at X8, where most GPUs, at least that I've seen, use the X16 PCI Express bus. So I'm not sure if being on the X8 bus slows down the performance or not, but when running on the dedicated GPU, it definitely improves the performance quite a bit. However, I do realize that the GPU in this machine is known to be faulty, so I try not to use it whenever possible, just to ensure more longevity for the machine. And I have taken the machine apart and put brand new Arctic Silver 5 thermal compound on it, as well as thoroughly clean out the fan and heatsink, or the 2 fans and heatsink. So I hope this machine never fails. So anyway, let's go ahead and I guess show you around the system. As you can see, it is pretty snappy. It opens Google quite quickly. And overall, the machine is great. It runs perfectly. No problems whatsoever. And as you can see, the minimize animations are very smooth as well. And as you can see, the multi-touch trackpad works really well. You can see that I can use it to activate Launchpad using my fingers, as well as mission control. And I can also use it to swipe between multiple full-screen apps or desktops, as well as the dashboard. So this multi-touch trackpad greatly improves the user experience of macOS 10, and I really like it a lot. So, as I mentioned before, this machine did not work when I got it. Now, the only problem was that the hard drive cable was bad. Now, unfortunately, those cables are quite expensive. Well, I guess they're not too expensive. They're about $20 on eBay. So I went ahead and picked one up and installed it, and now the machine works perfectly fine. So yeah. Oh, and as you can see here, I do have Windows installed via Boot Camp. So, yeah. And I do use this machine now as my main laptop. So, it works great. I have had no problems with it whatsoever since I repaired it. So, let me go ahead and just shut down the machine. So that is the early 2011 15-inch Unibody MacBook Pro. Hope you enjoyed this video.